broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Can't keep my hands to myself, no matter how hard I'm trying to.
Oh yeah, I love this song and we all do. Thank you, Selena Gomez, and you guys, welcome to the Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce after show here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. If you guys haven't done so already, please go on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, rate, review, subscribe. We love hearing your feedback, your comments, your tweets. It is so much fun. We are so sorry that we have been gone for the past 2 weeks. The holidays, what can you do? But Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce has been on and it's been amazing. So we are going to briefly cover the 2 episodes we missed and then fully cover season 2, episode 6, number 25, Beware of the Second Chance. Again, I'm your host, Sam Davidson. You can find me on Twitter at SamD43. We have a full panel here tonight. Yay! Do you guys, we're so excited.
Yes.
Do y'all want to introduce yourself and let us know where we can find you on Twitter?
And I am Isis Velazquez. You can find me at Isis Velazquez and the number 4 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and all that good stuff.
I'm Lindsey Miller. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, awkward periscopes, all that jazz, at Rockin' Mama Life.
I'm Tara Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great one. That's really amazing.
you.
So all of our Twitters are just amazing, so you guys should follow them. We have so much to cover tonight. Like I said, we're going to briefly discuss the 2 episodes. So let's start with episode 4 of season 2, which is rule number 606, you can go home again. This episode was awesome and really sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the same time, let's just briefly touch upon like Jake and Abby's weekend together that they decided to have.
Well, it was a fun weekend that they had. They finally got over the hump of knowing that Becca's pregnant, so they decided that they're gonna make it work. They decided, you know what, let's make this work. Let's see what we could do. So they shipped the kids off for a weekend.
Yeah.
Where were they kids? They
went to her brother.
her brothers,
Yeah.
right? I figured that
They're
one.
uncles.
Their
right?
uncles.
Yeah.
So they shipped the kids off, and they were having a great weekend, partying, doing things that, you know,
A lot of sex.
Yes,
A lot of sex.
See, I didn't want to be so graphic.
Oh,
about
sorry.
it. Yeah.
Sex.
I mean, let's be honest.
sex.
There was a lot of sex.
That
Just
was-
say it, Isis.
That was the fun beginning part, you know, where, you know, things get blurry because you're just having sex all the time. So
And butts. We saw butts.
We saw lots.
It's not even legal on TV. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Well, this is Bravo's first original series, so we don't know their rules, which are
Yeah.
apparently pretty loose.
I don't know if Bravo has rules. I mean, take a look at the Real Housewives and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
But
There's a few
Speaking
things
of-
they won't do.
But
but
taking a
we
look
don't
at
see butts.
But it was
her
full
lingerie.
back. Oh, that was a sexy lingerie, by the way.
Yeah. We
Yes.
saw her butt and
I
his
do
butt.
not wear stuff like that.
I-
I don't know
I-
a lot of married
if
women
you-
that
if
do,
you guys-
perhaps after divorce. That's what you wear.
I really like her lingerie. If you guys know where her lingerie came from, please let us know.
That would be
Hashtag
good.
us.
Because it
Let
was
us know.
classy. There was one, the black number.
That was
she
cute.
Like, oh
That
my
was
god! It was
really
like
cute.
it was sexy, but it was also like it was really classy.
It was a little, no, I thought it was a little dominatrix-y, but
but like not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Not like Fredericks of Hollywood dominatrix. It was like
It
classy.
was classy, yes. Okay, we're getting
bet it
off
was
topic
really
here.
good.
We're on into the lingerie fashions.
Anyway.
So they were having a great time, and then finally, kind of reality sinks in. After having so much sex, they were more like, okay, let's just work on things that we do around the house. And things happened that they realized, you know what, we can't be together. We really love each other, but we can't be together.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, Jake feels that Abby's a little bit too controlling, and Abby just feels like, well, I'm always cleaning up your mess.
Yeah, and I will say that twist surprised me, but then when I thought about it, I was like, what else can we do with this show? Like, it can't work out.
Right.
Not
Hence
for
the
a
name.
while,
Yeah.
at least.
Hence
Well,
the name.
it's honest. You know, I think it's really honest. Like when you try to make it. whether you've been in one of those relationships where it's on again, off again, when that happens, it's like there are always those little things.
Yeah.
And either you can live with them or you can't live with them. And it's like they're not going to go away. They're not going to disappear. And you can have this radical honesty, but they're still going to be there.
Yeah.
Right, and I think I've actually said several times I wish there was flashbacks to see what happened between them, but after that episode, I don't feel like I need those flashbacks as much because we literally got to see their old fights happen again.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I mean, kudos to the writers. They don't even really need to do flashbacks because we know what they fought about.
And it was written in a smart way, too, because they didn't have all the fights. You know, they brought it up, like you said, they eliminated the need for the flashbacks because they would bring it up and then be like, no, we're not going to go there.
But that whole scene of them just coming to conclusion, like, we can't be together, just them airing out their dirty laundry to each other. Like, and at the end, she says, I feel like my heart is breaking. And that was a very, like you said, it was heartbreaking. That episode, it was heartbreaking,
it was
just
sad.
like what she said.
Yeah.
honest.
When I was away for the holidays, I took a little peek before I watched it, kind of accidentally on Facebook, and I just saw that scene. My heart is breaking, and then he comes and he's crying and she's crying. And they've honestly very beautifully been able, I think, to still, after this weekend and that they're done, come together as a family. Again, guys, a lot happened that we can't have time to cover tonight, but we will mention it. Let's briefly go on to Season 2, Episode 5, Rule number 72. It's never too late to be a mean girl. This was such a fun episode.
So
Yes.
cute.
Jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The episode is all about basically Phoebe passes the GED, and they decide to throw her a prom and have She sponsor it.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Don't spend your own money. Spend Shishi's.
Especially,
These ladies just have money like pouring out of their butts.
I know, right?
It's really nice. Makes me really jealous
They
of
just
them.
have parties all the time.
And I love shows that have parties. I really do, because it brings all the characters together.
Yeah.
And the theme of the prom, which was 80s,
Which fan was great.
it was great.
Oh my
loved
gosh,
it.
those dresses.
So cute.
Except for Abby's.
Yeah, I was pissed for them.
I know, me too. Like, she sold out. She was like, no, I'm having a date with this guy, so I don't know if I should dress so 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was pissed at Abby the entire episode, though.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, who are you? Like, what are you turning into right now?
It's an amazing title for the episode,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
never late to be a mean girl.
Yeah, and I can't decide. I mean, I thought about it. Were the three being the mean girls, or was Abby being the mean girl? And I think throughout the episode, it flipped back and forth. Because at any given time, you were like, well, dang, girls. And then you're like, well, Abby, what are you doing? So it's just like, the whole thing. It was really a weird episode to see that the four of them not be the four of them.
Yeah, and in a way, the girls were ganging up on
They were.
Abby. And Abby just took it too far because of Dr. Harris, who she had a date with. I mean, if I had, like, that date they had at that restaurant, the Polynesian one, so fun. They stayed up till the morning, blah, blah, blah. Abby invites him to the prom, and he just decides not to show and say that his drinks went over. She's upset. That's the reason she didn't wear a dress to match all of the other girls' dresses, which are all for the decade in which they graduated high school and would have had prom.
Lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun. We also get to meet Frumkiss in this episode
Yes.
for the first time.
Supposedly, Frunkus lost a lot of weight, and he's like a new reform
Right.
Frunkus. And she wants him back, Puerto Rican girl.
At least she did for a second.
She did, but she wants him back.
Yeah, I think she set herself up though, because at first was this master plan. I'm gonna get him to cheat on his wife, and then the script got flipped, and she was like, "Wait a minute, I'm feeling a couple of things."
But I don't know that she wanted him back. More so, it's like that thing when you're with somebody and they kind of suck, and then
You have some
that
good
relationship
times.
goes on, and they go with somebody else, and they become like a better person. You're like, what the wow?
Well, it's like what
where
Abby
was this
said.
guy?
Do you remember, I think it was 3 episodes ago about Jake, she was just like, I'm jealous of whoever gets you next, or 4.
Because I fixed you.
while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very similar thing, and I think perhaps that's why Abby and Joe fight so much, is because they are really similar. And Abby goes to Dr. Harris's house and drunkenly confronts him, and he has a woman there. and it sucks, and he's rude. It's not okay.
He's a douchebag.
Yeah, he is
Okay,
rude.
I do not like that man.
Let's talk a little bit about Dr. Harris. Like,
Do we have to?
What kind of doctor is he? He cures everything. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is he general medicine?
He's a celebrity doctor.
Yeah.
He
He's
cures
like a Dr.
everything.
Oz wannabe. Not okay.
Well, this doctor, I was really excited about him because he's really good looking. And you know what?
Really?
Yeah, he's.
I think he looks like Robert Redford.
He's
like
too pretty.
30 years ago.
Like he's too pretty.
I like his body. You know,
He
kinda
has a
big,
nice
you know,
body.
there.
He's built well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dr. Harris, we'll get to him.
Yeah,
on-
we will. We have a
on six-
we have a
on six,
lot to
'cause there's a lot.
say about
This
Dr.
episode is
H.
all doctor.
But one last thing I need to say about this episode that's important is Delia and Albert.
On the floor.
Yeah.
What was like what?
I
what the
predicted it, right, Sam?
You
I
really did.
predicted
She's
it.
been saying it. I
Yes.
mean,
So gross.
and then like the scene when they had sex for the first time, which we know happens again. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But she's just towering over him, and
it's just so icky.
it is.
I
and
like
mean,
Albert. I like them all. I like them
I
all.
know. Sam has said you liked him, and I just don't.
But you know, then there's Gordon, who's not much better, but a little, at least for me.
I like Gordon.
Yeah,
I like Gordon.
Sweet.
After the fourth episode that we just went over, like they went and saw houses, and I was like, you know what, I'm sold. I'm
Oh my
good.
god, it's so cute how he tricked her into.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Exactly.
single bedroom. I like Gordon. He seems to really love her.
Yeah,
And,
he
like,
gets her.
yeah, and accept her for who she is. She's kind of trying to figure out who she is, but he accepts her for who she is.
Yeah.
Does he? Because he accepts her for who she is, but there's some unresolved issues that came up in the prenup, which is discussion about kids.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Delia, she's made it clear that she doesn't want to have kids, or she's not sure.
knows.
She
I
doesn't
think
know.
She knows. Yeah, I don't think she knows.
She doesn't know, but she's not so for it as he is. And she says, you know, Gordon will resent me for it if I don't have children.
I don't know. I feel like Delia is just a very guarded person. Like clearly she's had a lot of like emotional family stuff that is like buried deep down in her. She spends her life dealing with divorce. And I think she's just very guarded and dare I say like afraid to want these things or have these things. And I think that's where I felt like in the conversation with the lawyer and on kids, she was kind of like, I just don't even want to talk about it. Like, she doesn't even want to know if she wants kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's step by step, and I think that Gordon kind of like has a good plan to coerce her, not in a negative way, but that she's not aware of, like the house, the family, everything else. So, I mean, we have a lot more to talk about them, so we'll see what happens. Let's get into the episode from this week, which is number 25, Beware of the Second Chance, season 2, episode 6. Let's start with when Phoebe goes back to school, which I thought was a great storyline for her, really fascinating.
Yes.
Yes.
And, you know, she decides to go for women's studies at Santa Monica City College.
How long till she sleeps with that professor?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I was waiting for it, but I don't.
like, yeah.
He's okay. Like,
What did he say? I've been known to toe across the
take the
line
cross-
or something like that.
I'm like, the clock is ticking. We got about 20 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think
gonna
she's
happen.
going to
One
hit
episode.
every race and ethnicity.
oh my,
Hey.
that would
By
be
the-
great.
I mean,
Equal
no.
opportunist.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
can't hate on her. I mean, I don't. Hey,
But doesn't she?
He's not unattractive.
no, he's definitely not unattractive.
But doesn't she leave even though she tells him off at the end? Does she leave this class? We don't know. yet.
No,
yeah,
she
she
stays.
She stays.
So,
She stays.
you know, basically what happens with her story, she gets bullied in this feminist class. People are, I mean, half of them say they're feminists, half don't. And the ones that do, that's what I hate about the word feminism. I consider myself a feminist 100%, but I don't like it when people qualify it as if you're pretty and you like to be pretty and care about your looks, then you're not a feminist and we're going to destroy you.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's what the girls were doing in the classroom.
I think they were just anything, in my opinion, that'll give you a right or an ability to separate everyone again. I mean, like, as women, we have it hard enough, but now as women, we're going to say, well, you like the word vagina, I don't like the word vagina. Like, you know, anything that's going to take the pie and slice it up into so many pieces, I'm totally against, because, like, that's what everybody wants us to do. If we become separate, then we can't get anything done.
Exactly. And the teacher, I mean, he shouldn't be the teacher of this class. It is inappropriate, not because he's a man, really, but because...
I don't know.
The first assignment that he gave is, I want you guys to draw yourselves, how you guys see yourselves.
But I think he gave that assignment, and I think we see it. I felt the same way until the scene where she confronts him, and he gave her the A, and he was... I could feel like he had done that on purpose. Like, he wants to see what students will come forward and say, this is wrong, or this is not, this is not an okay thing to do. I think it was almost like a trick assignment in that sense.
That's what I thought, too. But then he admitted that he, like, messes up sometimes. And...
But I think that was him also trying to get in the model's pants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he's a great teacher, but he's going to sleep with her.
Or maybe
Like,
maybe he's just crazy like the doctor.
Well,
Which we'll figure him out.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure that one
Dr.
out.
Harris.
I mean,
no.
I love Phoebe so much, and I love that she got an A, probably her first A that she can ever remember. I mean, when you were little, you don't really get grades, and, you get, like... whatever, remember those stupid check plus,
right.
But because she was 14 when she went off to be a model. So she has a lot to learn, and I'm really excited. She left the class when people started bullying her.
Yeah.
And
I would have too.
Back. Me too.
I mean,
it was
they were
ridiculous.
being awful, and I loved her project. I thought it was brilliant and really bold and smart. And I agree with you. Like, I think it's really sad when people qualify feminism as, for some reason, you can't be a feminist if you're pretty and you're a model and you like appreciate your body. And I don't know.
I'm looking forward to her confronting them, because I'd have been like, step the hell off. Like, I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that's what they were expecting from her, because she comes in, she's like, and there were, I'm not saying everyone in the room was unattractive. That's not true. But Phoebe comes in, the typical, California beauty, long, blonde, thin. And they just all jumped on her, and I think they were expecting her to crack. So I'm waiting for her to come back in the classroom and, let everybody know what's really going on and how Phoebe's really getting down, because that's going to be exciting.
She's going to be getting down with the teacher.
That's true. That's true.
That's probably not going to help her street cred.
But I am looking forward to her taking those ladies down, because that is not okay, and it's not cool, and someone needed to do something.
Yeah.
So,
bullying is not okay.
No, it isn't, and that is still a form of bullying. It really pissed me off that they did that to her. It was really not cool. Let us know what you guys think. Who you agree with, who you don't.
They will.
Yeah. Frumkiss is in this episode again.
Oh, Frumkiss.
We found out that him and Charlene, his other wife, were moving to Hancock Park in the episodes before, so they could be closer to their daughter. And Charlene is from Smash.
Megan
Hilty.
Love her.
Love her
Hate
so
Charlene.
much. I hate Charlene. I think I might be having like a PTSD thing here, because I had a stepmom that was like, "Ooh, I'm Southern," and she came in and wore cowboy boots, and I literally am watching this character, and I'm like, die. I love my stepmom now, kind of. We're fine, but I
hope she's not watching.
Hi,
seriously.
Hi, stepmom.
But
Comment.
what a bitch. What a manipulative.
my gosh.
I would rather someone be outright mean to my face than pull that stuff.
That meeting in the bakery,
Basically, she comes in and she starts giving suggestions about the bakery. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should have a milk machine. Da, da, da. And, Puerto Rican. I keep on calling her Puerto Rican because she's Puerto Rican. Joe, she's like, wait a minute, who are you? You're trying to tell me how to run my business? No. So, and then again, they have another meeting, and she says, well, technically, Charlene tells Joe, well, technically, the bakery's half ours, because you put it up with our money, with the money of Charlene and her and Frumkiss.
And then she said, no need for unpleasantness or something.
Well, let me say, as the Southern woman in the room, that is how we get down. I mean, we will let you completely know about yourself with the biggest, sweetest smile on your face that you've ever.
As long as you say bless her heart.
Bless her heart. But that's. I mean, because it's not about. We don't do the comfort. And it's a huge contrast between Charlene and Joe, because Joe, I lived in New York for years.
New York.
Joe is New York. She's the Bronx, and Charlene's from the South. They're both very honest, and they're gonna let you know how they feel. It's just their approach is completely different.
I just think Charlene, she just overstepping her boundaries.
Oh, totally.
Like, just create your own bakery if you care so much about, this bakery.
But you know what? What I'm interested to know, because Frumkes was married to both of them at the same time. When did she know the whole time that Frumkes had another family? And if she didn't, then she probably sees Joe as just as much of a threat as Joe sees Charlene.
Totally.
Oh.
I can understand that 100%. First of all, the two of them should be like teaming up and whooping his ass. That's what I think for being married to both of them. Are you kidding me?
But,
That's what I think, but they're after the bakery.
unless
Isn't that
Charlene-
illegal? That's what I don't get. He's married to Charlene, but he was married to Joe at the same time, so...
It is illegal,
It is
and
illegal.
that is why when we see that Delia has like the face-to-face meeting with Joe, who, coincidence, also her divorce lawyer, she just is getting so much work from these ladies.
She
no
is.
wonder they're besties.
It is LA. Like, it's LA.
Yeah, and she tells her that after this nice meeting she thought she had with Charlene, that seemed like they related to each other. Joe was trying so hard. This is the episode I was like, you know what? I like this lady a lot. She's real. Yeah. She has a hard time holding her tongue, and she's trying for her daughter desperately.
Yeah, and I think we have had kind of a love. I think most of us, when Joe first came out, we were like, nah, I don't know about this chick. But she's slowly grown on me, and I think this episode, I agree. You really see her be very human and very honest, and you see her struggle with holding herself back, and she is the bigger person, and she goes to Charlene. She's like, look, this is my baby. Like, this is all I have. You won the guy. You won, the life that I had. Just let me have this.
Right.
Like, this is what I have, and I've built this, and he didn't care about it at all, and this is my heart and soul. Like, just let me have this.
And as you guys talk about Joe's character growing on us to see her so human, and we also see her advising Jake.
With Jake,
Yes.
I love that scene.
I love that because I think little by little, they live next to each other. They're going to help each other out in some way, and I think that's what's going to help build their relationship to be better, because they don't like each other, supposedly.
I think they're so similar, too.
Totally.
What they're
similar.
going through is they're both very stubborn. And
they're both
very,
a little immature.
Immature, yeah, and...
But
I love that
it's
scene.
it's good
It
to
was really
see
cute.
Joe and Jake a little bit working with each other.
But I will say this episode, Jake and Frumkes, I was like, the two of you need to step up, because Jake totally let Abby do the whole conversation with the kids, which I thought was... I was like, come on, dude, you're sitting there with the kids, and she's, like, doing FaceTime.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. I
Yeah.
understand wanting her to be there for the conversation, but I didn't understand why. He was like, oh, we can't finish the sentence because your mom...
I kind of understood, and we will get into it a whole hell of a lot, because I have a lot to say about that in a little bit. So, that storyline is pretty shitty for Joe. And, they're trying to, Charlene and Frumkes, take the bakery entirely from her, even though after she spoke with Charlene, it seemed like they were all good. And it sucks. And they can take him to court for everything that he's done, Frumkes, but it's going to cost a lot of money, so Delia is just going to threaten and hope that they cave. So we will see what happens. Speaking of Delia, we have the Delia Albert Gordon situation. Oh, Jesus. I mean, honestly.
You really want her to be with
He's
Albert?
she's a full
married,
Listen,
first of all.
we love Gordon. We love Gordon. We love what he stands for. But Albert
is married to another woman.
But it's okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay.
But they get each other.
Yeah,
And-
can get married.
Yeah, divorce your wife and go. I don't know. As a married woman, I've always told my husband, if you ever cheat on me, you better divorce me first, and she better be so hot that I'm like, okay, I get it. So I'm just saying, like.
But Delia said, you know what, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to confess to Gordon. And I thought that was very admirable. Delia telling Gordon, hey, I'm going to confess.
She didn't.
She
do
did.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
She didn't. And I thought she was going to confess. And I was like, oh, God, this is it. Gordon's going to dump her. But she didn't. And I think this is what Albert told her. Let's just get off of this with a warning. We did it. That's it. Never again.
But it happened again.
No. This is after they Slept together. The first time it was just a kiss. The second time they slept together. And then Delia goes to Albert, hey, I'm going to take Gordon. And Albert's like, okay, I'm not with it, but you're going to do it. But he also tells her, it's okay. Would you just get off of it with a warning? Like, it's not going to happen again. So I think it's okay to let it slide.
No.
It will come out, and it's
gonna
not okay.
It's
Like,
gonna
you
come
can't-
out, but I wish it would have come out from Delia's mouth and told Gordon, but she didn't. She was just scared. She was scared to lose him.
Well, can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
What she said to Gordon, she told him she was about to tell him what she had done, and then she chickened out and said, I was engaged before and he cheated on me, which I had never told you. Do you think that was true?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think it was true. I think it was her saying something to see what his reaction would be around cheating. You know?
I get that, but I feel like it's a really random thing. I felt the same way. I was like, I wonder if that's like so out of left park to be like, I was engaged. You know, she could have said I was in a relationship before and he cheated on me. But she said she was engaged, which makes me wonder.
I thought of two. I thought the same way as you. And then also if she was just making it up to see his reaction about cheating, or did it really happen to her? Because again, we don't know her character very well. We don't know the deep-rooted issues that Delia has. So I don't know. It could be.
If she made it up, that is way more twisted than we even know she is. Yeah, beyond cheating.
It's just
on
so
her
out of
fiancé.
left. It's like such like a. Why would you make that up?
I almost hope. I really hope she didn't, because that's super messed up. Just be like, oh, you know what? Let me think about another big secret I have in the back of my head.
Right?
And throw that one out.
I just think she should let it go. It should be kept a secret, and for them, Gordon, her and Albert,
their relationship will. Then she needs to end. I don't know. You cannot start a marriage with a lie like that. I just don't. I don't know. I think trust is so huge, and like it's like weaving a web, and like any little break in that like weakens it. And
to be honest with you, I just don't think Gordon is the guy for her.
Like, you just don't like Gordon.
No, I do like him. I do like everything he stands for. But Delia, when I see her with Albert, it's like Albert gets her. And get this, Gordon even took Delia backed out of a case, and Gordon told Delia, "Why? You seem so happy working on this case with Albert." He even notices the happiness that Delia has with Albert.
But he's like, Albert is bald and he clears your boobs, so I'm good.
I mean, I will say, okay, I'm an attorney and I've worked on cases, really closely with someone. And of course, you do develop a connection, but it's a work connection.
Right.
It's not like a romantic. Right. You don't want to sleep with the person. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people spend a lot of time, many hours at a law firm. There's a lot of hooking up. Very few real relationships and marriages come from it. It's what it is. It's a hookup. It's because you're spending all your time with this one particular person. It's a facade. It's not like real feelings. So you're right. Albert gets her. Albert gets her between her ears and her legal experience, and now he's getting her between her legs, but I don't see anything more than that.
Then Delia, keep it to yourself. It's okay. It just happened one time.
No, but we know now.
It didn't happen one time.
happened
She
at
does
the
it
end.
again.
So let's, wrap up their storyline, because she has sex with Albert again after she sees him with his wife bringing sushi. It's so messed up.
Yeah.
And it was so ugly too. Like she was like towering over him,
Literally.
like toppled him onto his chest. Was like this, so like the opposite of anything sexy.
I'll give you my prediction later, but Gordon is out of the picture since Gordon is not gonna tolerate that.
I still think that she's doing this because she's afraid.
I'm with that.
Yeah. Let me say one last thing about them. Gordon also kind of cheated on her with his ex-wife. Do you remember?
I do.
They weren't really official, but he slept with her to like help the deal.
Sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
And he also told Delia that he also cheated on his wife because they were broken.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe the truth comes out and he'll get past it and forgive Delia because he has done it himself.
I will say, even if he does that, she's still so petrified of everything.
She's not
that
mature enough.
Yeah, so if it's not her sleeping with Albert, it'll be something else. She's just
not
petrified.
ready.
Yeah, she's just petrified.
Yeah, it's just a big explosion, just waiting.
It's gonna
to
come out. It's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, she hasn't really told her friends, and it's gonna be ugly. Let's talk about ugly with the CW baby. I'm just kidding. Poor baby.
Poor baby. Yes, you're so mean about that baby.
Baby, when a new child comes into a family, it
You
brings
welcome it.
more
Yeah,
love.
It's more love.
Exactly. That's what you tell them. So Becca's pregnancy is going to be released by TMZ.
Of course, it had to be TMZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
She's
course.
a CW actress.
Right.
Yeah. And Jake's freaking out because he hasn't told his kids yet.
Well, now he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Now,
Let
and
TMZ tell.
it's, you know, we talked about this FaceTime before. When Abby was away, which we're going to whole talk about next, he, you know, made her kind of like, you need to help me, I'm freaking out. And they just had broken up, really. And he just relied on her so heavily that he basically made Abby tell the kids over FaceTime instead of him that was sitting right next to them.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that if you're parents of children and something huge like that needs to be discussed, I think that it's respectful to have both parents be involved. And I think it would have been really wrong of him to have the conversation without her knowing it was happening, because there's a way to approach it. There's a discussion that needs to happen. How are we going to address this? What are we going to say to them? Like, how are we going to handle this and the questions? And I think that she needed to be involved.
But I think he punked out and let her do the talking.
Yes.
That's, I think he punked out.
But she put it so pretty, you know. We're gonna.
She
tried to make it. Yeah, she tried to make it pretty, but the connection wouldn't let it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even though we saw their messiness, immaturity, everything last week in that episode, in this episode, I'm like, how cool, how beautiful for her to be so mature, to be able to just put it all aside for her children. She hasn't even really dealt with how she feels about it because she's so worried about her kids.
She has her moments.
Anybody here excited about the baby? You know, I've been excited from the beginning. I'm like, hey, this is a good thing.
A baby is
It's a good thing.
It is. A life is beautiful.
Not about the life. It's how it's gonna continue testing their relationship, and it's gonna this baby. It's gonna. It's you know, it's kind of what's gonna keep the emotion in the ocean and what's in the relationship between Jake and Abby.
They have their kids.
They have their 2 kids.
But this is gonna test more. This is what's gonna say, okay, are we gonna get back together?
They're not getting back.
No. Well, no, not for a while.
Not for a while,
I
but
don't think ever.
my predictions are.
Okay. We'll finish that one at the end. So do you guys think, though, that... okay, so the kids reacted. It was really sad how they reacted. Because I went through that as a kid. That my dad and my stepmom had a baby, like, really quick, and I found out. And I was so young, and it sucked. But at the same time, I was really excited for my little sister. And, you know, their daughter shows that excitement.
Yeah.
After she freaks out and talks about penises and vaginas. Yeah.
I love that when they're making the bed. She's like, sorry about the penises and vaginas. Mom.
Well, it's helping her grow up, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
We're
that is
really
true.
seeing it.
Yeah.
Poor Charlie pees the bed.
But it's kind of big, you know, to be expected. I mean, I'm almost, and you've gone through experience, you can definitely say it. But to me, it's better to have that initial reaction, so at least you know how the kid is feeling. Right. I think it's really scary if the kid just seems completely calm and like everything's okay, because you know it's brewing and you're just waiting to see when is it gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So with Charlie, he released it already. You know,
he peed it.
Yeah. Well, and aggression like that is really common with kids. Like, I know a lot of my friends are, you know, we have toddler age kids and they're getting pregnant with like their second child, and a lot of their kids are like regressing back to wanting to be babies and wanting to drink from bottles, and so I think when like big life changes like that happen, it's really common for young kids, they don't know how to deal with their emotions, to sort of regress back because they just don't know how to handle it.
Absolutely.
That's good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
But I think as long as Jake and Abby are putting their kids first, like they seem to always be doing, they'll get through it. And that is a really good thing to see, you know, that they're able to, they just had this whole tumultuous kind of breakup, but they're able to put themselves aside to make sure their kids are okay. And that's a really great thing to see.
Yeah, and that we're still a family no matter what. Like, my parents got us cell phones when we were 12, so they didn't have to talk to each other on the landlines.
Oh my God.
Like, it was, I mean, they're friends now, but it's so nice to see that despite their crazy, great, yet terrible weekend together, even though we see them be immature and crazy, they, at the end of the day, really know how to put their kids
They're
first.
great parents. Yeah, and I think that's why I really like this show, because it shows how you can still have a good relationship even when things are kind of all crazy.
Right.
Which is very appropriate.
Yeah,
for
And
this.
the family's growing. A CW actress and a
Yeah.
CW baby.
CW baby.
CW baby's coming.
I love how they're calling it the CW
baby's coming.
Love it.
It's amazing. So the big chunk of this episode, though, is obviously focused on Abby when she goes to her lit convention in New York City.
Bless her heart. That's
Yeah.
all. Bless her heart.
I felt like we got the Abby that we fell in love with back in this episode.
Really?
I felt like she's the goofy, awkward. I liked her in this episode. I did.
Did not.
I did not.
I
Really?
don't know. She just just the past couple episodes, she's just been rubbing me the wrong way. Like, I don't know. Like, even when they were in the book panel and they were like, "Oh, the divorce diet," and she was like, "Oh, just don't eat your kid's plate with your face." Like, I was like, "This."
Those questions were very like.
I know, but it's like there's a fine line between being like self-deprecating, fun humor, and just kind of being a jerk. And I feel like she's kind of a little on the wrong side of the line in some of the things she says.
I think I agree with Sam. I think I like her character in this episode. She was quirky and funny and like awkward and Dr. Harris. Let's get to Dr. Harris.
Well,
I've been wanting to get to
real
him.
quick question though. Did you guys see a difference between the prom episode and this episode? Because I did in Abby's character.
I didn't. I still thought she was a little fake and phony, just in a different way. You know, when in the prom episode was fake and phony about me, I'm a writer and I have this great doctor who's coming and I've got to tweet about it and that kind of thing. And in this episode it was, I'm really like sad and I need to like get myself together because I'm falling apart and I'm like thirsty over this doctor who I've gone on 2 dates with, but I'm just gonna act like everything's okay. Like, she's coming across really fake and
Desperate.
and desperate to me.
Desperate was what it was.
Yeah.
You know, like I do. There was a difference between last episode and this one in the sense that she wasn't like as much of a jerk, but I feel like she's just sad and desperate and
Chasing after this
just,
guy.
like, yeah, it was
She's
just,
having an
as
emotional.
a woman, it made me annoyed.
Yeah.
She's being very emotional on every level. She's going through every emotion. That's what I like about Abby, is that she goes through the motions. So yes, there's that phony side of from last episode, and then here she's crying, she's annoyed. So I think she's just going through all the emotions. I don't think there's anything.
I don't know, she just
I
irritates
agree.
me for some reason.
I agree. I think she's going through all the emotions, but I guess for me, I would prefer her to take a moment to herself as opposed to, no offense, spreading her legs and everything to try to cure her problems, because that's how I feel.
She
That's
has a column to take care of. She has
but
to
like
write
little
about
things,
it.
like her
That's work.
family is dealing with this huge thing at home, and she's like, having phone sex with some guy in a hotel.
Okay,
Like,
well,
She needed to release some stress, people. Like, that's okay.
it's a stressful time. I mean, because so she is essentially trying to sell her book. Carrie Fisher, aka Princess
Which was
Leia,
great. Yeah.
is the
Love
editor.
her.
She's in the episode. She's hilarious. I wish she was in it more. I hope that she possibly will be. And so when she gets to this panel thing or convention, she sees Dr. Harris. So embarrassed. She had just gone to his house and embarrassed herself when he had another woman there. And he's an ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm actually so glad that you guys feel this way, because I thought that everyone else was going to be like, no, he's great.
No,
No.
he's a sleazeball.
He really is, and he is playing with her emotions.
Yeah.
And on the panel, I personally thought that she was asked some pretty offensive questions, and she killed it.
Yeah.
She was asked some offensive questions, but there's just something about her that just.
And maybe it was just maybe it was just the actress and her delivery of these particular scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. But I remember, because I watched the episode twice, and the second time I watched it, I said the same thing. I was like, something about this on this panel and her at this conference, it's just not, I'm not believing it. It's rubbed me the wrong way. It's something
felt
about
the
the
same
character.
way.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Isis is on my side.
Isis
right?
is like,
I'm like, no, the questions were very offensive. So I think she answered them the best way possible. And sometimes she used that sarcasm to help. But, it was corny. Her jokes were corny. But yet it's that awkward, Abby
But I also felt, in a way, she was like making fun of the questions right back at it. Yeah. And, you know, it's hard for her, and this baby thing's going on. And as we talked about the FaceTime, she's at this like party with publishers and international people. And when she goes in to talk to Jake and the kids, she comes out, she's very upset. And they start asking her more insane, ridiculous questions.
Right. What about the divorce diet? I was like, what?
Yeah.
This lady has tears in her eyes. Like, back off a second.
Yeah, the French don't know.
So
I did like Dr. Harris when he came, and like at least he has a heart. To some extent.
Are we done with Dr. Harris? Is he done?
No.
No.
My God, he's like, so. Why does he do that? Like first he's like, oh,
I think we're gonna sadly find out.
Yeah,
maybe he has issues. Maybe that's why he's a doctor.
We started to see that. He said like his first marriage or whatever really messed him up, and so now he's emotionally guarded towards anyone that's crazy.
Guys are so stupid. Anyone that has a divorce messes people up. Just because you're a man and you're able to admit, like, oh, it
not
messed
even
me
divorce.
up.
Like anyone who's been in a relationship has baggage.
Right, yeah.
Like that's just called life.
Yeah, and he keeps on saying things to Abby like, I need to distance myself from you because I attract drama. Ugh, shut up.
And then you give her phone sex. Hey, that's drama there.
I mean, for me, when they
was kind of hot.
Yeah. I mean, they met, and Abby was so honest with him about what she was going through, and so she put she like laid it all out for her when they first met. And I just feel as if, as much as he may or may not like her, that still remains to be seen. He's playing upon where she is right now in her life. He knows she's a mess. He knows that he can pull on her heartstrings and do the phone sex and, you know, join the Mile High Club and whatever, but then turn around and say, oh, here's this woman I brought to the conference. I can't even I can't even eat breakfast with you. Like, it was, you know, he's toying with her. He knows where she is, and he's using and abusing it, and I cannot get with it.
Yeah,
he's an emotional abuser.
He is, but he literally did catch her when she fell into the street, which I think was a very funny. But when a woman does that and a man saves you, it's a weird like rush, and then it's almost like sex. You get connected to them.
Totally.
And she was in a bad place after.
Have you been saved in the street?
I fall a lot.
I was like,
she
I
knows.
don't really know this
Yeah,
much.
no,
I've never been literally
fall.
swept off my feet before like that.
Yeah, I get it. I really do fall down quite a bit. But so when Abby gets back to her room, like we've mentioned, phone sex happens. It was very sexy, and she's like, "Doctor, like blah blah blah, you know, tell me what to do."
And
who wrote that scene? We know what you get. We know how you get down.
Someone that's very
naughty. It was definitely unexpected because you know they're in the hotel together, so you would expect they would just, you know, go to each other's rooms. So I was like, all right,
because he mentioned like, I'm a few floors above you, and I'm like, oh well, okay then, just like, come down. But you know, he rejects her, she rejects him, and then they end up being put on the airplane together.
But they're just gonna work.
But they're in coach for some reason. When on the way there, like she was in first class getting champagne. And he's like, you're in coach too, and she tries to switch seats, and that woman, I love that, the weird woman on the side that had 2 lines. It's like, this is my baby, with her dog, who was cute. Yeah.
Let me just say,
I fly with my
cute.
dog. It's okay.
Yeah, I get it.
with my dog too.
I weirdly understood that woman.
Yeah.
And when Abby sits down, see, this is like the Abby I like, but I cringe because I think I'm a little bit like that. That she's like, well, hi, God must hate us or love us. Or
I did like Abby there, and I think that's where my issue is with her, like on the panel and stuff like that. I think in that scene she was really raw and awkward and honest, and I think that she's built her career and her reputation on being just this brutally honest kind of person. And I felt like when she was confronted on the stage and in like the prom episode and a lot of these episodes, she's just very fake and not. And I'm sure it's because she's going through this emotional time, and it's really hard to be honest when it's really, really painful.
Right.
And I would have preferred to see her be honest. I would have preferred to see her be like, the divorce diet? Really? The divorce diet has called you so depressed that you, like, and just be very honest about it instead of being like, don't eat your kids' food. Don't
clean their plate with your face.
Like, it was just... I don't know. Like, it just was...
I think it was just a bad joke, guys.
Maybe, I don't know. It just made me so angry at her.
See, I think that was possibly something she dealt with in one of her girlfriend's books, guide to books before, about having a child. So, you know what, Abby, don't you guys kind of sometimes are like, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that?
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
And even though, this is not us, Abby, in a way, it's nice to identify with someone that's extremely flawed and you keep on seeing mistakes.
Totally. I mean, we are Abby.
Everyone's Abby.
Yeah, everyone's Abby at some point. Yeah, we've all, totally blown it, and we've all been totally thirsty over a dude we had no, business chasing after. I mean, it's just the truth. We've all done it.
Yeah.
100%.
And, the following day after the phone sex, Dr. Harris and her are at the brunch, and she goes out in sunglasses. She has been up all night doing God knows what. She hasn't been drinking. I mean, she comes down she's, hungover from phone sex.
She is hungover from the phone
sex. God knows how long that went on for.
He is a doctor, guys, so he gave her some
thorough examination.
Some good therapy,
And what he did, though, at that brunch, because I was still wavering, and then I was like, oh, hell no.
Right. Exactly.
Not okay.
At all.
And it was not okay for him to ditch her at the prom in the first place.
No, it was so sad. We didn't talk about that.
We
so
need
sad when she showed up at a store.
Yeah.
Desperate and then...
But, okay, in
have
his
we
defense...
Have we not all done that in our life?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm like...
Just me.
Not that I would... I may have, blacked it out.
It was not that I would admit.
I mean, I will say, when she knocked on his door, they'd gone on, 2 days?
Yeah.
So I can understand how he didn't come to the prom. It would have been nice to say, well, he did text her and say, I'm not going to make it. But they didn't have any kind of commitment. I just think she was a little...
Listen,
crazy.
I get Abby.
Crazy.
No. I get Abby. I invited you to my prom, and you're not going to show up because you were drinking? Oh, I'm going to show up at your house. Drunk, lit, and be like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Don't mess with us.
Listen, it's my prom. He didn't show up, I will be mad too. I will be showing up at his door like, hey,
but
what's going on?
His response to her when she invited him was, I'll try to make it. I think
Is that what he said?
I think he said, I'll try to make it. I don't think he said, yes, 100% I'll be there. I think he said, I'll try to make it.
It don't matter. She invited him to the prom.
Well, then,
and he was supposed to go.
Please rewind this after show and watch that scene so you will know.
Yes, absolutely.
I think we need a new dater. We need a new guy.
Well, we'll talk about it on predictions because I have some for that.
Oh,
okay,
good.
Come back. What is his name?
Will.
Yeah, so
I know.
hot. Bring back Will.
Before we talk about the hotness of Will, we do not like Dr. Harris, but they did have some pretty bomb-ass plane sex and joined the Mile High Club after they're sat next to each other.
So gross. I won't even touch the handle in an airplane bathroom, and you just touch. I've never understood that.
I've always wanted to.
And her leg was in the.
I was
you could see her foot.
Was that her real leg or was that a prosthetic thing? I'm just asking seriously. I mean, that's a lot of flexibility.
You can get your leg up there.
She's a tiny girl. She can flex.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah,
where else are you gonna put it? There's no room.
You definitely have to get it up there. I'm just asking if that was really her leg. I mean, that's some amazing flexibility. Kudos to you and your Pilates instructor. That's all I'm saying.
Can we ask people if this is possible for your leg to be so high up there to do this at the?
I can put my leg up there, but I used to be a dancer.
And see, there we go.
There you go.
So it's possible, and it wasn't that high because I think also she was standing on her other leg. I think.
You want to stand up and do?
Whatever. It was gross. It was dirty.
Well, but everyone. I mean, listen. A lot of people just kind of want to do it once to say they did it. Yeah. And that's how I feel about Dr. Harris for her.
People really do that.
Cross it off, get a permanent marker,
Yeah.
that joker off, let that be done.
That's part of my bucket list. So
yeah, really? I get that. Yeah. I do. I don't think it's going to be a pleasant experience, but I would like to do it.
I am such a germaphobe. It just makes my skin crawl.
After you just put a little hand sanitizer.
There is not enough hand sanitizer for things that would touch.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. We're going to get in predictions really quickly.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right, guys. Who wants to go first? Any good ideas here?
That's a good one.
I have a random one.
Yes.
So I think with the bakery, Delia said something about you know, you might have to just take it as a loss. And I think what ultimately will end up happening is they'll fight for it. They'll try to fight for it. And I think that Joe will end up taking her hottie toddy Baker and letting Rise just kind of fail miserably.
Letting Rise fall.
Yeah, letting Rise fall and start a new bakery. I think she's going to have to walk away from it and just start fresh.
I think for I like that prediction. I do. I think she's going to let it go. And I think piggybacking on that, the relationship that she and Jake are developing, when that happens, I think he's going to be the person who's going to be there for her, not Abby. Yeah. I mean, I know Abby and the girls are going to try, but I think he's going to be the immediate person. He's going to be the person who can really, because he's reeling from the CW baby and that kind of thing. Yeah. I think it's going to strengthen their bond.
And I think they'll hook up.
I don't want to say that.
I was going to ask.
Because, you know what?
I felt that a little.
That's the thing. I see that in my head. I don't want that to come out my mouth. I don't want to put that in the universe. But I do think they will have a moment.
Are you talking about Joe and Jay?
Yeah.
I really think they'd be good together.
I think
it's not appropriate.
That's not going to happen. That's
I think
not.
they'll have a moment.
I think it could happen.
Writers, don't do that.
We're way beyond what's appropriate at this point. You know what I mean? But
True.
Piggybacking off of you guys' prediction, I think when we see that happening, that the Frumkes tries to take away this bakery, I also want to see the daughter kind of see the dark side of her dad, because she has her dad in a high pedestal. So if this were to happen, it would be nice to see her daughter seeing, like, Dad, what are you doing? This is Mom's baby. Why are you doing this to her and to me? So it would be nice if that were to happen, to also see the daughter kind of like not have Frumpus in such a high pedestal anymore.
I would like to see another side of the daughter, period. She's so
oh my
put
God.
together.
I think she needs to get drunk. I know it's bad. She's young. But
I want to see something else with her, period.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I kind of hate your prediction, but I think you're right. In that Joe is going to have to let go of the bakery, which is going to make Scott's character come in more, because he's just kind of been sitting on the sidelines, and we've been like, who is she going to sleep with him? Is she not? And I think he's going to be her knight in shining armor and save her in a sense. And we saw in scenes from next week that Dr. Harris wants Abby to go with him to Ecuador or something. Wow. Are you joking me? No.
He needs to get over her.
I don't know. That might happen. I have a prediction about Delia and Gordon. I think with time and the pressure of the wedding coming closer, Delia's going to break and tell Gordon the truth. And I think Gordon might forgive her. Or maybe not. So if
he'll forgive her.
Yeah, I think he'll forgive her, but I think she's broken already. It just hasn't surfaced.
Yeah, let's see.
I agree. And Phoebe's gonna sleep with the professor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
He's okay. I don't think he's hot enough.
Well, like I said, he's gonna go all across the rainbow. So we'll see what happens next. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back, and we love hearing from you guys. Y'all want to let us know where we can find you again on the interweb?
Oh, I am TJ Wagging Her Tail on Instagram and Twitter, and you can also find me on my women's interest talk show, wordswinewomen.com.
Love it.
Thank you.
I'm Lindsey Miller. You can find me at Rockin' Mama Life, ROCKINMAMALIFE, on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere.
And I'm Isis Velazquez. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Isis Velazquez and the number 4.
And I'm Sam Davidson. You guys can find me on samdavidsonentertainment.com and on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43, and of course us at AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
I did really good live.